Okay, we're going to talk about the core system, breathing strategies, and how your postural alignment plays into that. So when we talk about the core system, we're talking about a group of muscles that work together as a team. Those muscles consist of the diaphragm, which lays below your rib cage here, acts as the top of the core system. We have your transverse or TA muscle, which are your deeper abdominal muscles that can wrap around. Your rectus abdominals in the front, which is your six-pack abs, your obliques on the sides, your multifidus muscles in the back, and then your pelvic floor acts as the base of that core system. So with an inhale, the diaphragm descends, it pushes down on the organs in your abdominal cavity, so our pelvic floor needs to give a little bit to make room for that. With an exhale then, the pelvic floor recoils and the diaphragm ascends. So with every breath that we're taking, we're inhaling, exhaling, and it's just a natural process that occurs in our body. However, when we're pregnant and we have a baby growing inside of us and things are getting shifted around, it makes it a little bit harder for that core system and all the muscles in it to function well together. So it's important to retrain that breathing postpartum to reconnect everything so that it's all working together as a team again. Okay, so in order for that breathing to function best, we need to look at our postural alignment throughout the day and start to bring some awareness to it. So ideally, we want the diaphragm to be directly over the pelvic floor so it can function there as we breathe. So we'll refer to rib cage over hips a lot throughout the course and with different exercises that you do. So common postures during pregnancy and that stick around postpartum are maybe a tucked under bum where you're squeezing your butt a lot, maybe the rib cage is flared up, or even postpartum when you're constantly holding a baby or feeding that forward position where your rib cage flares down. Okay, so we want to find a neutral. That neutral is going to look a little bit different for each woman, but finding a neutral for you is important. So to get there, you can use a mirror so that you can have some visual feedback. We're going to stand upright and then you're going to rock your weight forward to your balls of your foot or toes. Okay, and that should automatically untuck your butt and that should neutral out your rib cage there. So from here, we're just going to rock our weight back to mid-foot to heel range, and that should be about your neutral. It may feel kind of strange at first if you're really used to one of those tendencies of either tucking the tailbone under, rib cage up. So practicing it regularly, bringing some awareness to it throughout the day. So, you know, if you're holding your baby or bouncing them around and your back really starts bothering you, or maybe you feel like you're going to start leaking or you do leak, or you just have some pelvic pain or heaviness pulling through your abdomen, those are all signs that, you know, shift out of the position you're in, try to find that neutral posture and see how that feels. So again, playing with it a lot throughout the day. Other common tendencies are, again, gripping of the butt, gripping of the pelvic floor. One thing that happens a lot if you are constantly gripping the floor that I see often with women is they either tend to clench their fists a lot or maybe even their jaw. So if you catch yourself doing that, make note of it. Like, are you gripping your pelvic floor too? If so, let it go. And in our society today, the sucking in the abdomen is just super common, but it hinders that core system and breathing to function really well. So let your belly go as much as you can. Okay. So again, we're just looking to find that neutral as much as we can, and with the different breathing strategies that we will go through with each of the different exercises, we'll cover them here. The first one is the foundational breath. So with that, it's a really great breathing strategy to start out with movement when you're first getting back into exercise, or if you're just kind of symptomatic on different things. So it's where we will exhale through the full range of motion. So we're offering that gentle pelvic floor and abdominal support throughout the whole movement. So we're going to take a squat, for example. We'll inhale into the rib cage. We want to think about the rib cage as an umbrella. That umbrella is going to expand as you inhale, and then as you exhale, it'll close up. Okay, so we're breathing all the way around our abdomen, not just in the front doing belly breathing, definitely not just our chest. Okay, through our back, our sides, and the front here, we're inhaling, and then we'll initiate our exhale, so kicking on that pelvic floor. It's a gentle pelvic floor lift. Belly button is going to draw in and up, and then we'll squat. Okay, so again, inhale, exhale, and just working through whatever depth on that. And what that's doing is it's offering that gentle support throughout the whole range of motion. So again, it's really great when you're first getting into movements. And then a more progressed breathing strategy would be to inhale on the eccentric part of the contraction and exhale on the concentric part. So again, with the squat, we would inhale as we squat down, exhale, come out of the bottom of the squat. So we want to initiate that exhale right before we are performing the concentric part of that exercise, just because it's going to offer that additional pelvic floor and core support right before we get into movement. Okay, so again, inhale, exhale, come up. Okay, and with those breathing strategies, you may find one works a lot better for you on one thing, and on another thing, it may feel better to go back to a foundational breathing pattern, even if you have progressed on other movements. Okay. So with every movement that we do, we want to match the task to the demand. So if we are just laying on the floor practicing our breathing or in a quadruped position, you're not doing much to where you need to have a ton of pelvic floor and ab support. So your contraction there does not need to be a maximal contraction. Okay, however, if you're going to pick up a heavy loaded barbell or a heavy weight, or your 50-pound kid, you're going to need a little bit more support there. So again, exhaling and giving a little more of that pelvic floor support with a heavier load. So again, matching the task to the demand. If you're doing something really light with low intensity, you're not picking up a heavy load or something like that, you do not need a maximal contraction, just that gentle support there. Okay, so really just trying to bring as much awareness to your positioning and your breathing as much as you can throughout the day is what we're looking for. It is completely unrealistic to expect you to have perfect posture, perfect breathing, perfect movement patterns 100% of the time every single day. It's just not realistic. So again, giving yourself some grace there, taking time to learn these breathing patterns, but also not freaking out if you catch yourself in a less than ideal position, because it's just going to happen throughout the day. Okay, so again, just let's bring some awareness to the breathing and finding that neutral position throughout movements, and those are our breathing strategies and alignment tips that we're going to be using throughout the whole course.